Ho, ho, ho! I want to show you how to get off the naughty list. I'm going to show you how to make a rose out of bills. No, not your water bill, your electric bill, or your phone bill, but out of dollar bills. What you're going to need is you're going to need 5 bills. I like to use crisp new bills, but if you can't get that, that'll be just fine. You're also going to need floral wire, and what I've done is I've bent some of them in half because you're going to need them bent in half. You're going to need something to roll it with. I like to use a skewer, or you can use a toothpick or a pencil. You're going to need water, or something that I like to use is rose scented essential oil, and that's because it'll give it a rose smell. Okay, so let's get started. As you can see, my 5 bills are laying flat on the table. 4 of them are laying in the same direction with the tails facing up. One of them is got the heads facing up. We're going to go with this one first because this bill is going to be different than all the rest of the bills. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my oil, or if you use water, that's fine. And then I'm going to just moisten these 2 corners. Now, if you get it too wet, just let it dry a little bit. But you just want to lightly moisten it. And then you're going to take your, in my case, skewer. If you're using a pencil or toothpick, you want to curl inward on these 2 corners right here. All right? Just curl inward on those 2. Now, this bill only, what we're going to do is we're going to flip it to where the tail side is facing up now. And then on the other side, the 2 corners that we have not curled yet, we're going to moisten them. And then we're going to turn inward on these to get the curl on this side of this bill. Now this bill is going to look just like that. You're going to have 2 curls on this side and then 2 curls on the other side. Now it's a little different, so we're going to set it aside. All 4 of these are going to be exactly the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and moisten the corners, spin it, moisten, oops, don't have anything on there. There you go. Moisten them corners. And then we're going to spin all of these inward. All the corners inward. The same on these bills. They're all going to be inward. There's no flipping of these bills. After I get it in there, I'll spin it just to help it, form it a little bit. It's just something I like to do. So, all right, so let me show you right quick. Then this bill is going to be like that, to where all the corners are facing the same. Not just this one, but all of these are going to be exactly the same. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and do these right here, moisten these corners. While I'm doing this, I'm just going to talk to you guys a little bit about what you see. I've got a little hashtag here. It says hashtag be kind to one another 365. Well, if any of you ever watched the Ellen show, you hear her say at the end of her show every day, be kind to one another. Well, I took that and I added the 365 up to the end of it, which basically says to be kind to one another 365 days a year. And I know that Ellen wants people to be kind to one another 365 days a year, but I just added that on my hashtag just to make it a little bit different than what she's got. Because I honestly believe and I live the fact that I know that kindness can change the world. Just one simple act of kindness can change a person's day. I mentioned at the beginning of this video about how this can get you off the naughty list. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be a Christmas gift. I just like Christmas. It's my favorite time of the year. I'm Santa Claus. Anyway, but it could be for a birthday or for Valentine's Day or an anniversary, or it could just be for a Tuesday to let your significant other know that You're thinking about them, you appreciate them, and you love them. Or you can give it to your mother. Or you can do like I do and make a rose up like this and leave it as a tip for your waitress, because it would just brighten her day if she goes to the table and instead of just having a few dollar bills laying on the table, she has a rose made out of dollar bills. And anything that can brighten anyone's day, I'm all for that, because that's just the way to go. Anyway, so I got that hashtag right there. Be kind to one another. And you can see these bracelets over here. There's several hashtags on there. The top one doesn't really have a hashtag. It just says God's got this. And I honestly believe that no matter what you're going through in your life, that if you'll just turn it over to Him, He's got this. Okay, let me get to the roses here. All right, so I'm done with the curling. And you got these 4 right here. And then you got this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this one that's different. What you want to do is you want to go in the center of it, and you want to crease it in, fold it in here like an accordion, and what you're trying to do is you're trying to get these petals to form a cup like this right here. So you get them in there. If you got to use your fingers in there to smash it a little bit to make it a cup shape, then do what you got to do. But when you get done with it, basically what you're going to have is this right here. It's going to be a little cup shape. Okay, so I'm going to take my floral wire, and then I'm going to set it in the center. What I'd like to do is at the very base of this petal, I like to make it pretty tight, about 2 or 3 times, possibly 3 times, pretty tight. And then the rest of the way down the stem, just kind of loosely wrap it until you get to the bottom, just so you don't have wire hanging out. Okay? And the reason why is because if whoever you're making this for ever wants to take it apart to spin it, you don't want them to have to struggle with unraveling a bunch of wire. Excuse me. So when you get done, it's basically going to look like this. Okay? I'm going to lay that aside because, like I said, that one is different than all the rest of them. Let me put that aside because I'm done with it. And I can put this aside because I'm done with it. So now I'm going to just do these the same exact method. I'm going to take in the center and squeeze it in like an accordion until I get that cup shape petal. Okay? While I'm doing this, I'll go ahead and finish what I was talking about. On my bracelets over here, the hashtags that I have, the one is not a hashtag. It just says God's got this, which I've already explained. Now, there is a hashtag on there that says hashtag giving God the glory 365. And that's because I feel that, and this is what I do in my life, I give God the glory for everything in my life, every day of my life. And that's just me. Now, you may not be a religious person, and if so, hope I don't scare you away with this video. That's just how I live, and I'm not judgmental because we're not supposed to be judgmental. I'm not put on this earth to judge you. I'm put on this earth to love you, and that's what God wants me to do, is to love everyone, and that's what we all should do. Anyhow, and then the other hashtag that I have on that bracelet is the same as this right here. It says hashtag be kind to one another 365. Be kind to one another 365 days a year, every day of your life. Whether you're a faith person or not, you should be kind to people, because kindness is, I believe that kindness can change the world. Just be kind. There's already enough cruelty in the world. Be kind. Being kind to somebody can not only change their day, but it can change everybody's day who they run into. So if you're grumpy at work, like if you're grumpy throughout your day all day long, and you're going to rub that grumpiness on the people, because you're going to get them all grumpy, like, oh my goodness, why is he so grumpy? And then they're going to be grumpy. But if you're nice and kind to them, and they're maybe not in such a good mood, maybe your kindness will change them, and anybody that they run into, it will change their mood and their day as well. So it's better just to be kind. Okay, and the last hashtag on that bracelet, it says hashtag wings 080515. Now, when I hand these bracelets out, now most of the other hashtags and things that are written on the bracelet are pretty self-explanatory. But people question me, like, what in the world does that mean? Well, that is in honor of a young lady that I knew named Paige, who I totally feel that God brought into my life. Paige was born just 3 hours after my mom died of cancer. And then later in life, God allowed me to meet this young lady through her mom, who I worked with. And this young lady changed my life. At age 11, she was diagnosed with cancer. And she fought for 2 years, and she died of cancer at age 13 on August 5th, 2015, which is why I honor her life with the hashtag wings 080515, because that's the day that she gained her wings. Paige inspired me to not just be kind, but to spread kindness to others. She was just an amazing person, and she was just an angel here on earth, and now she's an angel in heaven. But everything I do every day, all my acts of kindness that I do, first and foremost, I give God the glory for it, because it's because of Him that allows me to do these things. The second thing I do is I honor my mom's life and Paige's life in my acts of kindness, because I've always said, Jesus Christ saved me, my mama raised me, and Paige changed me. I'm a better person today than I was. I was always a nice person and kind, but now I spread kindness. Now my life mission is to change the world through kindness, and I try to do at least 5 acts of kindness every day. And I challenge you watching this video, maybe not to do 5 acts of kindness every day, but at least 1 act of kindness every day, because kindness will change the world. And I'm just rambling. So anyway, I've got these 4, and I get this one that's separate. It's different than the other 2. So we're going to take it first. And if you notice the little V in there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one, and where the petal is, I'm going to try to cover in that V. Fill it in to where you can't see the V anymore. Okay, looks like that right there. All right. Now what I'm going to do is the same thing with the other ones. Just fill it in, offset these petals a little bit, because you don't want them all to be exactly the same, because if they're all in the same spot, it's just going to look like a line of petals instead of a rose. So you're going to want to offset them. Take the 4th one, put it in here, offset it, and then from all the rest of them. And then on the 5th one, it's just going to be just a tad different. We're still going to take an offset, but with the stem, we're going to do something different. With the stem, we're going to take the stem and wrap it. Oh, where'd it go? We're going to wrap it around all the rest of the stems to hold it into place. Now, you could do that with every single stem if you'd like, but then again, if the person you're gifting this to or giving this to decides to take it apart to cash it in, they're going to have a heck of a time trying to get rid of all those twisty things that you did. Okay. This is basically what your rose is going to look like. You can form it a little bit. You can squeeze it in a little bit if you want to make it tighter. You could fluff it out a little bit, but this is what it's going to look like when you're done. And this is a single rose made out of bills. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I inspired you to do an act of kindness. It doesn't necessarily have to be monetary. It could be just listening to a friend or holding the door open for someone who's got a handful of groceries, or just something. Just be kind and change the world. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a blessed day.